What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. Today's episode, we're going to be going over my running back rankings, top 36 tiers heading into week 4 here. And remember, guys, this is going to be mainly my personality, my opinions on the games, plus last week and how it went with their matchups. If you want all the statistical breakdowns, like the movie with Jim Carrey breakdown, check out the start-sit running back video. I drop all of that there. I do it a little different here for the rankings, so you get a different view, you get my personality, and you get kind of some funny jokes I'll drop in there as we go. If you guys are new, make sure you tap that like, hit that subscription button. All the support's appreciated. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support this year. If you have any questions as well, it does not have to pertain to this video. Make sure you drop them in the comments. I try to answer every single one of them to help you guys. That's a goal of mine for me this year, to help you guys win your matchups. Also, we have the Guys FF Discord that I run with my buddy Big Draft Energy. We cover everything fantasy football 24/7. If you want to talk football off stream, off the shows, this is where you find us. And we also drop our Pick'ems DFS plays in there as well. And we do that all on drafters.com. If you haven't signed up on drafters.com, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. And you can pick them, draft, everything like that. But I won't be doing any draft shows this week. I leave for Vegas Friday. I'll only be live Thursday. So if you guys missed the video, or you're not there to answer a question, I will be live 7 p.m. Eastern before kickoff heading into the Thursday night football game. So make sure you're in there and I'll get all your questions there. Now let's dive into my week 4 top 36 running backs. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my running back ranking board. Baller tier at the top, your must start smash running backs. Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. We're going to get through all 36 here. And the first one we're going to talk about, and I tweeted that he's going to be a top 5, that he was my league winner. I was off. He might be running back 1 this season, and he is going to be my running back 1 on the week, and that is none other than James Cook of the Buffalo Bills, and they are about to get the New Orleans Saints. Do not be surprised if he has 20 points by halftime, which is why in my quarterback video, I also said that I'm kind of worried about starting Josh Allen. And I know it's Josh Allen. I know you don't bench Josh Allen, but this game script could get so out of hand with the Saints. They're 16.5-point dogs in this game. It could be literally 30-3, just like I kind of predicted with the Seattle Seahawks game last week, which they were up like 20 points at half. So the Saints are in absolute shambles. James Cook, and you got to think the rest of the season as well. Christian McCaffrey and James Cook have the easiest running back schedules going forward, and the Bills are favored in every single game. That is game script volume that you want. James Cook, if he stays healthy all year, I don't see how he's not RB1. Coming up behind him, the guy that just, man, if he stays healthy, he's probably going to chase James Cook, and that's Jonathan Taylor. This man destroyed Denver. He can destroy any single team. He got vultured in week 1 to lose 2 TDs. He literally could have 90 points right now through 3 weeks. He looks like an absolute beast. The clip of him breaking the tackle, spinning out, going to the house. I mean, Jesus, criminy. You're never, ever sitting Jonathan Taylor from here on out for the rest of the time, as long as he's healthy. But that's the only thing that scared me away, was the health. Now, you are getting the Rams defense this week, and I did say that the Rams this week, I think they're going to smack the Colts in the mouth, but there's still no way that I'm sitting Jonathan Taylor, period. Number 3, Christian CMC, the comeback, bang, bang, Niner gang player of the year. 20 straight points average. He's averaging, and he really hasn't even had that big CMC game yet, but you kind of saw in week 3. Like week 1, I was a little worried, watching him run. Maybe the injury was still kind of there with the Achilles, and then week 2 it picked up, and week 3 he looked explosive. He looked back to Christian McCaffrey, and now they're gonna ride the back of this man the whole way. I mean, now Ricky Pearsall goes down today. Nick Bosa's down. Our whole team's hurt. Juan Jennings day to day. Ayuk's on IR. Kittle's on IR. They're going to ride CMC all the way here as much as they can. And as long as he's healthy, he's always going to be a top 3 running back for me. Number 4, and we got to slow it down. What are the Falcons doing? What are we doing? If you want to save your season, Atlanta Falcons, if you're anyone in your organization is listening to this podcast, listening to the YouTube channel, give the ball to Bijan frickin' Robinson. That is the answer to all of your problems. That will help Penix. That will help everything. I don't care if you're down by 14. I don't care if you're down by 17. Get the ball in the hands of your superstar player. It is driving me absolutely nuts. The Carolina Panther game was insane. I mean, no one saw 30-0 for the Carolina Panthers. I like the Falcons D a lot in that game, and they just did not show up at all. But it was the offense that was even worse. And Drake London and Kyle Pitts, you're down 30-0. They didn't even have a good game. Kirk Cousins may be coming sooner rather than later, and it's very, very sketchy right now. And Bijan Robinson, just get this guy the ball. Like, let's be honest. Josh Jacobs, the revenge game Sunday Night Football versus the Green Bay Packers. Micah Parsons back in Jerry's world. I can't wait for this game. It's going to be absolutely electric. Josh Jacobs, dude, everybody destroys the Cowboys. And when you trade away Micah Parsons, this is what happens to your defense. Everyone else then has to step up. Everyone else was getting it for free with Micah Parsons getting double and triple teamed, which made their defense look a lot better. Forced a lot of bad throws, forced a lot of pick sixes. Darren Bland forced a lot of plays. That's how much of a game wrecker he is. Now that he is gone, this defense is absolutely shattered. You start every single player against the Cowboys for the rest of the season. Number 6, Jahmyr Gibbs, and you're going to start him regardless, and they've earned the right here. So we got to talk about this too. The Cleveland Browns defense, guys, has allowed 2 yards per run 3 straight games. This is a legit run D, a legit pass D, a legit all-around defense because Myles Garrett is an absolute freak of nature. Like, defensive player of the year, sign him up already. It's insane. But Jahmyr Gibbs still gets it done in the pass game. My lock of the week on Thursday night was his 3.5 receptions. Easy lock there, easy smash. He's going to get it done through the air. A little bit on the ground. Might be tougher sledding because you're playing one of the best run defense. Let me change it. But still, Jahmyr Gibbs is still a superstar. I just wish one of these times, and one of those 2 players, we're talking about them both, I just want to see Jahmyr Gibbs one time in the season. Just one time, be the guy by himself and see what happens. And I swear this guy will break every fantasy football record there is for a running back. On to the David Montgomery side, had an explosion game Monday night versus the Ravens. Dude, he didn't even score on a breakaway, which is I was like, damn, imagine if that was Jahmyr Gibbs. He'd have hit like 25 miles an hour. But you're playing the Browns here. I do not like the David Montgomery start here. This is how you fall into a trap in fantasy football, is seeing the 24 points or 22, whatever he got last week, and then being like, he's a smash start. You got to look at the matchup. This is a very, very rough matchup for David Montgomery. Their offensive line is not the same as it was last year, even though they plugged holes against the Ravens. It's not going to happen against the Cleveland Browns defensive line. That's the end of the baller tier, heading out of tier 1. My guy, your guy, the Hurricane, Devon Achane, is going to be my running back number 7. Monday Night Football versus the Jets. This is the Dolphins' do or die save game here. They're going to have to feed the guy. And every time Tua's out there and he's healthy, Devon Achane's the number 1 point scoring running back per game in the last 2 years when Tua's out there. So you're never sitting this guy, period. I don't care if Ollie Gordon vultured 1 TD last week and people are thinking that Ollie Gordon's going to get the Raheem Mostert role where he scored 22 touchdowns. That's not going to happen this year. Their offensive line cannot support that, which is why the quick screen passes, the quick outs to Devon Achane is what he's going to chew up all year long. Number 8, and I said it was going to be a tough game last week for Saquon. It was a tough game. It's going to be another tough game for Saquon again, unless he can just get loose. Like, they have this box bracketed for Saquon Barkley in a different way that you didn't see last year, and it's holding him back here a little bit. But now that they opened up the pass game, down 20 points against the Rams last week, maybe that will let the defenses, ease off packing the box so much, and maybe they'll respect the pass game a little bit here, because Saquon has still looked great. He just can't get loose. And the matchup is another tough matchup. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are very, very good versus the run. So I'm, expecting a 10, 12-point outing unless he pops a really big one here. And that's why you can't rake him any lower, because Saquon Barkley can pop a big one at any single time he touches the ball. He's literally one of my favorite running backs to watch play the game. So yeah, I still have to rank him up here, even though I don't love the matchup. Number 9, Kyren Williams. I'm tired of the talk. I'm tired of Corum. I'm tired of the Jarquez Hunter rookie nonsense at the beginning. That's why this guy got a contract. He should have had 3 touchdowns last week. Unbelievable performance he put up. He's going against the Colts. And like I said, I think the Rams are going to blow them out of the water in this game. I do not think the Colts are a legit 3-0 team. And I think they're going to find out when they travel to LA this week. And I love Kyren Williams for any time touchdown against the Colts in this game as well. Number 10, jumped up massively in my rankings, jumped up massively in probably everyone's rankings, because you got Najee Harris with the popped Achilles, just updated out for the season. I believe it was yesterday. bad news there. We don't know if they're going to be bringing in like a Gus Edwards type. He knows the system. He's a free agent. But with Hassan Haskins behind him, he's not going to touch this guy's work. And I had Omarion Hampton as a league winner down the second half of the stretch of the season. I did not think it would hit by week 4. This guy's going to win. He's going to win championships from here on out. You're in the hardball run system. The offensive line is massive. Their defense is great. They have to respect the passing game that Herbert has now with Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey. So the holes are going to be there all day for Hampton. He's probably a top 10 running back for me the rest of the season, regardless of the matchup. And you get the New York Giants. It's a perfect matchup. Number 11, this is his trade game. And I was out on Breece Hall all year, and then he had his major week 1 against the Bills, and I was like throwing my apology out. This is why it's a reminder to go with your gut. Stick with your gut feeling. Breece Hall has been terrible the past 2 weeks. This is your get-right game. The Miami Dolphins' run defense is absolutely terrible. This is where Breece Hall should thrive. The Jets are 0-3. You're going to start hearing the trade rumors. He's also on a contract year, so he'd be even better acquiring trade piece depending on what they do with the trade when it happens. If they do a contract, during the trade, that could happen as well. But this is where he's going to go off. And this is where he's going to go off, and this is going to be a showcase game for the Jets because the Jets aren't contending anytime soon, and they got to be smart about it and trade their pieces away to help them build for the future. And you have Braylon Allen behind him. If you have Braylon Allen, go. If he's on the waiver wire in your league, whatever it is, go get him now. He shouldn't be on any real waiver wires at the least competitive, but if it's like a Pokemon league, he might be there. You snatch him up. Number 12, King Henry and the Ravens. It's a tough matchup here too. I know it's a high implied point total game with the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a high game here as well too. He just fumbled. You saw a little pissed offness between him and Lamar Jackson. I've got to drop him down. He's had 2 bad games in a row. It's not like I'm not saying don't start the King because this guy can score a touchdown every single game regardless of the matchup because he's just an absolute freak of nature. But I don't think a 20-point game is coming. Maybe it does. I'm just dropping him down lower just because how the performance has been and how the Ravens are playing right now. Number 13, your pure workhorse Bucky Irving running back. Has not popped yet. Offensive line has been an absolute shambles. They hope they get Tristan Wirfs, their star left tackle, back, but they were down 3 linemen last week. Bucky's still hanging on. Buck's still 3-0. You gotta love the 75% workload. I don't know if I love that though with his size and frame. Like I'd like to see him at least get like 65, 70 because he could do enough with that. They may be using him a little too much, which gives me a little injury scare with him. But he's so electric. It's ridiculous. The pop game is coming soon. I just don't know if it's going to be against the Philadelphia Eagles run D, and especially when they're down Mike Evans. Chris Godwin, I got the update. I said in the quarterback video, I don't know. They said he might play this week. So possibility that Godwin's out there, that will open up more in the passing or the running game as well, with the defense having to play a little respect to Godwin and Egbuka out there. Number 14, my league winner, my top 10 running back last week, Jordan Mason. And man, now you've got Jordan Addison back in the mix. You've got Justin Jefferson. You've got TJ Hawkinson. You've got an upgraded offensive line. I never believed in Aaron Jones at age 30 with his injuries. Jordan Mason is going to absolutely feast. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense has actually been getting gashed by the run to a lot this season. Anytime touchdown for Jordan Mason. I love it this week as well. Easy start. Number 14 for me. Number 15, and this one is kind of sketchy for me. So you do got Zach Charbonnet back. And Charbonnet was leading the snaps before he had his doubtful injury updated last week, and then K9 came in. And K9 didn't look that good against the Saints. So you got to look at it like, yeah, he had the 2 touchdowns, but he had, I believe, and this is off the top of my head, like 18 carries for like 40 yards. He had 2.0 yards per carry against the Saints run D, which is not that good. So the matchup is great. Thursday night football, they should run all over the Arizona Cardinals. But in the Clint Kubiak system as well, that's what they do. I just don't know how the split's going to go. So I'm going to put Charbonnet at 33. I'm going to put K9 back on top because Charbonnet is coming off injury. But you got to remember, like I said, Charbonnet was playing more snaps before, and he probably is the goal line back like he was before. So scary kind of play with both these guys, and we know that the coaching staff has already alluded to it will be a committee no matter what. So I'm going to put Kenneth Walker at 15, but he's like a sketch one for me. You know, he can always find the end zone, but I just don't know how the split's going to go again, especially since he's coming off injury. Number 16, Ashton Genty. This is crazy. I mean, this might go down as like the worst first round pick in a long time for a running back. Not in the NFL draft, in fantasy football. Like, the Raiders cannot run the ball. Chip Kelly and freaking Pete Carroll are known for running the football. Their schemes, maybe Pete Carroll's old and his scheme don't work no more because he's, guy's like 70 something. He's still in great shape, but it's crazy. Ashton Genty, I'm putting him at 16, and I got a couple like other big content creators on Twitter that dropped into my post, and they're like, man, Genty at 16, I'd put him at RB 30. And I was like, dude, I can't put Genty at RB 30 yet. But we're almost there. He has 144 rushing yards, like 145 yards after contact. Every time he gets the ball, he's just tackled right away because their offensive line absolutely blows. So I'm putting him at 16 because the matchup is great versus the Bears. The Bears defense is decimated with injuries. But he had a great matchup last week versus the Commanders and did nothing. So it's getting really, really scary time with Ashton Genty here, guys. Number 17, Chuba Bubba Hubbard. And this guy is just consistent. No matter what it is, he's always going to be middle of the pack running back with a chance to pop a game over 20-plus points. And if you followed my off season or the best ball drafts we did and how much I talked about the Carolina Panthers and I like them to have a big year, this might be the spark they need. Like, this is what happens in the NFL. You saw last year when Bryce Young got benched for Andy Dalton, then he came back in. He quarterback 8. Chuba looked great. The offense looked great. They do have a couple injuries still. They need to get Xavier Legette back, get Jalen Coker back, and that'll open up even more for Chuba. I love him as even like a buy right now if you can, and he's always just a safe RB2. You get the Patriots on the road, bad matchup. Going into Foxborough as well. Still, I like him as an RB2 every single week. Number 18, how long is this going to last? J.K. Dobbins should be an absolute smash start this week versus Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. This defense is just atrocious. We need to see Denver, pick it up here. So, they haven't looked like the Denver Broncos that all of us thought they were going to be with all the talent around, the defense they have. It's been kind of a rough start for them. So this is, it's kind of like playing the Dolphins. This is your get-right game. This is let's smash the Bengals. Jake Browning's probably going to get absolutely rocked at Mile High Stadium like he did versus the Vikings. You're probably going to hear quarterback trade rumors, but I don't even know if that's really going to help the Bengals with their offensive line is awful. So J.K. Dobbins, you have to have in the lineup this week just based on the pure matchup. Heading out of Tier 3, number 19, Henderson Travion time. And if you just saw the practice reports today, Travion Henderson leading all the running backs for the first time in the season on the drills. And you saw Ramondre Stevenson fumble twice last week. You saw them bring in Antonio freaking Gibson instead of Travion Henderson, which was even retarded. Then he fumbles. Then the next drive after that, Drake May fumbles. Ramondre Stevenson went third in reps in practice today. Antonio Gibson even went ahead of him. We might be looking at the Travion show finally here in week 4. And I am here for it against the Carolina Panthers run D, which is absolutely terrible. And I think last week against the the Carolina against the Falcons game was an aberration game. Their run D gave up 3,000 yards last year. In the first 2 weeks of the season, they were the worst run D. And all of a sudden, they stopped Bijan Robinson and Algier in one game. I think it was an aberration game. This is going to be Travion Henderson time. Number 20, one of my smash starts this week, Trey Benson. There is a lot of trade rumors swirling around the Cardinals looking for a running back as well. A lot of Breece Hall talk there as well, especially with the Jets 0-3. Something I've been talking about all year long with Breece Hall, that he will be traded before the deadline. If it hits, I'm going to blow up social media like it's crazy. But Trey Benson in this game, this Seattle struggles passing versus the running back, rushing versus the running back. Arizona's got a decent little line. James Conner, you obviously see at the top up here above the camera. These are all the running backs that are out. You've got, James Conner out. We don't know if Joe Mixon is even coming back at all. Tajay Spears should be week 5 off IR. Aaron Jones, I believe week 6 or 7 off IR, and Eckler season's over. And RJ Harvey, I have in the corner just because he's not even part of football right now. So back to Trey Benson. He's going to be a great play. Going to be an RB2 flex play with high upside here in this game. This is where Seattle struggles against is the run, and he's going to have a big game here. I like him a lot. Number 21, DeAndre Swift, healthy early in the week. This time he got his practice in today. Last week was kind of down to the wire. I was a little nervous there with him. Tough matchup versus the Raiders. The Raiders run these, I believe, top 5. Again, I'm not using stats or anything for this one. This is just a cappella off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure they're top 5. Nasty run D, and we don't know, Colston Loveland may miss. Cole Kmet may be in there more as a blocker, might help them more there. Keep Luther Burden out there on the field with more three-piece, three wide receiver sets instead of 12 personnel, which should open it up more for DeAndre Swift, and he can get it done in the passing game too. But he's more like a low-end RB2 type flex for me this week, and that's why I have him at RB21. RB22, The Cam Scatabo show is here, folks. Tyrone Tracy, 2 to 4 weeks with a shoulder, but the matchup is not great. You got the Los Angeles Chargers. I haven't seen the update if Khalil Mack is going to be out there in this game or not. That would make it even worse for Scatabo. He can get it done in the receiving game for sure. Jackson Dart's first game as well, which we're all excited to see. I just don't love the matchup here. I know he had a good week last week, and he looked absolutely great. He looked like, Brian Daboll's 2010 when he was offensive coordinator for the Browns with Peyton Hillis. He looks like he's got his Peyton Hillis 2.0, but I just don't like this matchup for him. That's the only reason I have him so low. Come next week with the Saints, get ready to fire up Cam Scatabo. 23, he's going to be on my sell high video. It is time to get out. I cannot believe the freaking start. I got a signed jersey in the back, just as trolling because everyone knows I'm not really a Javonte Williams guy. But obviously, week 1 he gets the 2 PI touchdowns from the 1 yard, then he has another big week. And now he's kind of slowing down. And CD Lamb gone, they're not going to respect the pass as much. I don't think Pickens, I'll talk about in the wide receiver video with Pickens. I'll save that for the rankings. I'm not that high on Pickens this week with CeeDee Lamb gone or moving forward either way, but I'll cover that when we get to it. And the defenses are going to change against them. It's official. When CeeDee Lamb is not there, they don't have to worry about the superstar. Javonte Williams, I fear, is going to fall way, way down here from where he is, and that's why I'm saying if you can get a piece to sell, he will be on my sell video if I get to that this week. Coming up behind him, oh boy, Quinn-Sean Juddy, Mr. Juddykins. He looked absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal versus a Green Bay Packers run defense, which you don't start running backs against. And there was one other carry for Dylan Sampson. Like, this guy wasn't even at the training camp, made it week 1 or made it back to practice the end of week 1, and he comes out and does that. Dude, he may be the best running back in this class. It's ridiculous. And the Cleveland Browns offense is not great, and this guy's still doing that. You get the Detroit Lions this week. I know it's not a great matchup. Still, the touchdown upside is there. He's a low end RB2 for me in the matchup. But man, wait till this guy gets a good matchup coming forward here, and imagine if the Cleveland Browns get an offense, this guy could break fantasy. He looks so good, and he had like 70 yards after contact too in the game, which was nuts. Heading down to tier 4, it's getting scary time, and people alluded to it on the shows. I forget who brought it up. It was either Big Draft Energy or I think it might have been Michael Ripper or something. Michael Rip that was on the show, and he's like, dude, Alvin Kamara in a Kellen Moore system. Kellen Moore's system has never ever even had a running back a running back I believe in the top 20 in receptions in the season, and you're seeing that right now with Kamara. It's absolutely atrocious. And I'm gonna pull up one of my buddies here sent me this. Hang on. We'll do it live here with Alvin Kamara. These numbers are terrible. So this is targets per route by the season for Alvin Kamara, and the difference it is with Kellen Moore. Okay, and this is how Alvin Kamara has dominated PPR his whole career, is just dump off catches, receptions. Okay, 2017 he was at 31%, 2018 29%. 2019, 28%, 2020, 28%, 2021, 24%, 2022, 24%, 2023, 32%, 2024, 28%, 2025, 10%. The scheme is not helping Alvin Kamara. The only thing we can hope for right now as fantasy owners for Alvin Kamara is that he is traded to a contender at the age of 30. That is literally the game scripts are not going to help him. The dump off passes are not going to help him. He's going to be very touchdown dependent, and they're going to be blown out a lot. So how much are they really going to use a 30-year-old? It is very scary for Alvin Kamara right now. Number 26, Tony Pollard, the number 1 snap share running back that hasn't done much with it for the Tennessee Titans. And we're hoping that the change of the guard of taking the offensive play calls away from Brian Callahan is going to help them, because, man, it's looked terrible for Cam Ward. But you're going up against the Houston Texans. This is a great front run D. One of my favorite defensive plays of the week. I have them ranked at number 3. I think Cam Ward is in for a nightmare game again. I mean, I'm glad that he's getting the reps and getting the practice, first-year starter. But, man, it's not looking good. It's not going well. And Tony Pollard, I have it running back 26, and I don't really love it. Flex play if you need this week. Number 27, the Bengals just said, we'll just pay Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow $150 million a year and not worry about protecting anything. We don't need an offensive line. We'll just throw our players out there and see what happens. Look at Chase Brown. His usage is insane. his freaking negative runs are more than his positive runs. They can't block anybody. They're like the Raiders, man. They're not helping their running back. They're not helping their quarterback. Chase Brown, guys, was drafted at like ADP 18 in some drafts. This is the worst draft pick of fantasy football right now that's not an injured player. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Genti has more than him. I think this is even worse. So I don't know what to do with Chase Brown right now. I mean, I get a lot of questions. Do I trade this for him? Do I buy low for him? I want to say that the usage is still great, but I just can't trust it right now. I need to see something positive from the Bengals first. I have him at RB27 and a deep flex, so at best if you need. Number 28, Travis Etienne going up against the San Francisco 49ers. It is going to help with Nick Bosa not out there, but I do not trust Etienne in this game. Robert Saleh has the 49er defense flying around. If Mikael Williams is also out as well and both of our ends are out, I'll probably move him up to like 23 around Javonte Williams range. But this offense for the Jaguars, they haven't played a defense like this, and they're lucky that there's no Nick Bosa out there because it'd be even worse for them. It's been a terrible scheme. I know they're 2-1, and Jacksonville fans are excited because they're 2-1. But if you watch the games, they don't look like a good offense. They've not got BTJ involved. They've not gotten Travis Hunter involved, and they barely can run the ball. So, I mean, and Tootin is stealing freaking goal line touchdowns, playing 15% of the snaps. So, ETN's still a flex play. If you need deep flex play, don't like him a lot, RB28. RB29, another sell high candidate of mine, Jaylen Warren, off to a great start. The matchup is going to be brutal. The Minnesota Vikings just got healthy last week, and you saw them absolutely obliterate the Bengals offense, and they had to worry about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You don't got to worry about DK Metcalf that much because DK Metcalf is last in the NFL in separation. So the defense is just going to be chewing apart Aaron Rodgers and Jaylen Warren. And the only way he kind of gets it done to me in this game is through the passing game, which he could do. But I don't love him for anytime touchdown. I think it'd be 15% chance if he gets one. Maybe 10 points in the receiving game might save him. Number 31, I'm still going to put Ramondre Stevenson here because the matchup versus the Panthers, and I don't really know if it's going to be Travion Henderson, but we're looking at practice. We're looking at what happened. We're looking at how we would do it from the outside. Obviously, we don't work for the organization of the Patriots, but you got to realize that Travion Henderson is your guy. I could still see them running out Ramondre Stevenson and him getting a touchdown, so I'm going to leave him at RB31. 32, Nick Chubb, and its time is closing quick here. If you got Nick Chubb, you better make sure you got Woody Marks right now, guys, because the snap share has gone from 11 to 38 to 50% for Woody Marks. He's gone up every single week. Nick Chubb does not have that burst. I know he got a touchdown on that busted play. I think it was week 2. He hasn't looked good, and this is what injured knees of your career look like. Obviously, Nick Chubb was one of my favorite players back in the day, but I can't trust him at all. Charbonnet, I have at 33, 34. Pacheco. Told you, don't draft him. Don't do it. Chiefs have 0 run game this year, period. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon unless they trade for a big piece, but it's Pacheco real quick. That's 34 for me, nothing special there. Number 35, JCM, and we just got the injury report that he didn't practice today, so make sure you are watching the injury updates. But just like I said on the show, I don't think he's going to come out leading them as the RB1. Lo and behold, you see Chris Rodriguez out there get the first drive, get the goal line work, then you see Jeremy McNichols pop a big one, then you see JCM come in. You would think that talent-wise, looking at it, that he would start to take this job, which I think will happen by like week 7 or 8 here. But I think it's going to be a committee approach till then. And it's just something you can't really trust to start. But if you need to throw it in there as a flex play, it's ugly, but I'm not totally against it. I mean, he could fall into the end zone. And number 36, Ollie Gordon. Here's my special play at the end. I like Ollie Gordon for an anytime touchdown this week, but I don't like the volume. So, I mean, you get the Jets, Monday Night Football. I believe he's going to get the goal line work when they get down there, and I like him to fall in the end zone if you need a deep, deep, dark play here. Boom. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 36 running back tiers, guys. My next video is going to be my wide receiver rankings, my tight end rankings. I've already dropped the defense and quarterbacks. Those are out if you want to check those as well. Plus, all the stardom sit-ems are out. Smash starts, sleepers, and the waiver wire. I hope you guys hit the waiver wire last night pretty solid. And then I'm maybe going to get to some buy low, sell high videos. Might save it for week 4. Just depends on the schedule this week because, I head out of town Friday. So we'll see how much we can get done. Thank you guys for listening. If you haven't tapped that like and subscribe, help your boy out. Hit that button, turn that bell on so you don't miss any of the live shows, miss any of the content. Helps me out a ton. Again, you can check out the Discord pinned in the comments and in the description, the guys FF. And again, if you haven't signed up on drafters.com, shout out to our sponsor. Make sure you sign up with promo code SLEAZE. It will match your deposit up to $100. And let's get it popping. Next video is going to be my wide receiver rankings, guys. See you there. Sleazebum out.